Hey, this is the Love Dinosaur, and today I'd like to talk to you about being your own dream interpreter. So, why do I say being your own dream interpreter? Being your own? Well, you know, I hear a lot about dream interpretation, or I have heard a lot about it throughout my life, beginning as early as being a teenager, probably even earlier. I don't know. I've been writing down my dreams. I know in high school I wrote down my dreams, and then I just continued to do it for many years on and off. Always coming back to it, because I got a lot out of it. I heard along the way various things such as a dream is a note from yourself to yourself. You know, and that like dreams have the inside of your inner. They reveal the inside of your inner psyche that doesn't exist during waking hours. Or is not, I shouldn't say it doesn't exist, it isn't conscious during waking hours. Also, another thing I've heard about dreaming is that the waking world is like a solid, and that the dream world is like a liquid or a gas, so that neither one is more real or false than the other, the waking world or the dreaming world, but the waking world is just more solid, so things are more identifiable, they stay the same, more like a rock or a mountain or maybe a tree would. But the dream world is more liquid, and it's always moving like a river or the ocean, or like a gas. Like, you know, take a picture how clouds have one shape quick and then very quickly have another shape. That's why maybe in your dreams, someone who starts out as your Aunt Bonnie becomes your first grade teacher, becomes your mother, becomes your boss, and you don't remember who it was throughout the whole thing, but it's actually all of them, just like a cloud changes shape. So I've noticed things about dreams, I've learned about them. I've read books about interpreting dreams. I've owned some, took them out of libraries. You know, like if you see a raven, it means death. Or I don't know, something like that. Or if you see money in your dream, it's a good thing, a bad thing, whatever. You know, if your skin falls off, that means something good. There's lots of dream interpretations, and it's beneficial to be aware of them. But at the same time, the person who knows you best is you. The person who knows me best is me. So that's why I say to you, be your own dream interpreter. Sure, study dreams if you're into it. Learn about the benefit of studying dreams. That's cool. Study dream imagery, symbolism if you like. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't stress out trying to match your dream with what you've read in a book or what you've heard someone else say. I've tried it many years, and I've written down exhaustively 4 pages of dreams, 6 pages of dreams. You know, three pages a night I would write down. You know, but what happens is just like my journals. If I write a lot in my journal, I never want to read it. It's too painful. There's too much of like, you know, there's dark things, there's difficult things, there's painful things in there. I don't want to relive that, you know. So just like my journal writing, my dream writing has become very much only the things that I think are necessary for me for the next day or the next phase in my life that I write down. But those things are very helpful. When I say necessary, I don't know. I'm sure I could live without writing my dreams down or writing the dream messages down, but I do find them very helpful. So here's my my tips as far as interpreting your own dreams. Tip 1 would be tune into your heart when you wake up and only write down what you would like to read in the morning. or the next day. I don't mean like sort of like deny yourself or ignore what you dreamt about. If it's pressing, you write it down. But let's say I had a dream where I got into a fight with my friend, or there was like a group of people I was working with, and we were really had a disharmony. We weren't getting along, or maybe my wife got mad at me or something. Focusing on writing a dream about this negative thing I would not want to read it in the morning. I would be scared what the next day is going to bring. So rather than that, I would write something along the lines of maybe unity is important. Something just simple like that. Or maybe I would write respecting others is fundamental to harmony, to coexistence. Some sort of positive teaching that the dream is telling me that is simple and truthful and doesn't make me feel guilty, doesn't make me feel worried or scared about what's to come. But just an honest statement that I can identify with and observe in my heart and my mind as I go about my day, so as to prevent any of that negative dream stuff from happening, but not to do it in a guilty, scared way, but rather than from like this place of knowing. Unity is essential, okay? I get it. It's not like you better not act like this or else. No, or respecting others is essential to harmony. It's like, okay, that's a principle I get, and that's what the dream awoke in me. And I could chew on that during the day. I can't chew on 3 pages of details that are kind of dark and really don't make a lot of sense because my mother became my aunt and she became my teacher. Then my best friend became my other best friend. And it's like, no. And I've done that for years, this complex, and I try to tell it to people, and then I'm scared to tell people all the details of my dream because some of them are dark or some of them are scary, or you don't want to be too honest because you might be revealing something that you don't want to reveal. Rather than that, interpret your own dreams in a way that you're not afraid of looking at your interpretations, but you're actually excited to know what valuable message you got out of it. So that's tip number 1. Write from your heart, not about the dream, but the lesson that you feel is coming through the dream. And it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, because it's never right or wrong. It's always it's a message from you to you. So it's up to you, because you created the message anyway, your higher self gave it to you. It's up to you to make the meaning of it. So there's no right or wrong. So you choose. But you have to have a little confidence in yourself and believe in yourself. Okay? Number 2, dream interpretation tip. Number 2, this isn't exactly dream interpretation, but it's all related. I ask a question before I go to bed often. And you could ask it to a deceased family member, a deceased famous person that you respect, like Dear Albert Einstein, when is humanity going to get rid of nuclear weapons for good, or something like that. I don't know. Or you could say, Dear Universe, how can I attract more abundance into my life? Dear Dad who passed away, how am I doing? Are you proud of me? Are there things that you would suggest to me? What advice would you give me about this situation? You could write things like that, and you'll be surprised if you're open-minded, open-hearted. When you wake up, you'll have a sense of a knowing, and just follow it, write it down. Of course, it might feel like it's coming right out of your mind, and that's fine. But if you didn't, ask the question and go to sleep. That information, knowledge would not filter through. There's something very special about the state our mind is in when we wake up. Wayne Dyer, the famous and legendary spiritual motivator, I don't know how else to describe him, spiritual guide, he said late in his life, he passed away recently, he said that there's something very special about 3 a.m. A lot of us wake up at a specific time. Some people wake up every morning 3:03 or 3:04 every morning. It's why, And he tended to believe that it was like an appointment with our higher self, so to speak, or the universe, to be creative, So to do something creative at that time, because there's such a stillness, something so beautiful and perfect about the moment at that time of night. Especially if you've slept a little bit. If you just stay up to that time, it might not have that stillness or perfection. You know? So he tends to think that, in his talk, he said that was a very precious time. And he would like get up and smell the air and go on his back porch, and then he would just write. And whatever came out was very pure. So I've taken that to heart. And when I ask those questions to the universe, to the deceased loved one, I get up, I write an answer, and I trust it. Or I write an interpretation of my dream that is from the heart and not just like a rote description of what the dream was. So tip number 1 is write from your heart about a lesson that the dream was kind of trying to convey to you, that you feel, and just trust it, and make it have a positive twist to the best of your ability, so you're not afraid to look at it and you don't deal the next day with superstition and fear, but rather with an open-mindedness and a awareness and a knowing. 2, ask a question before you go to sleep, and with that comes actually listening for the answer when you wake up, trusting your heart, writing it down. Shorter answers are better, I think, just because they're easier to read in the morning, but write it as long as you need to. And tip 3 is when you wake up, whether it be the 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever, or just when you wake up in the morning, rather than write the message that the dream has taught you, like I suggested in tip 1, and rather than write the answer that the universe or some deceased person or angel has given you, as I suggest in tip 2, tip 3 is to just simply write a poem. Write a poem. And, poems are kind of, in my view, easy to read. Easier than prose. If they're like 1 page long in a journal, or half a page, or whatever, or 2 lines, and they can encapsulate so much, and there's so much interpretation that can be allowed. Write a poem from where you are when you wake up, and trust that the dream message will come through that poem. That's tip 3. So I hope this was helpful in some way. I hope you have a lot of fun interpreting your dreams and being your own dream interpreter. Remember, you know yourself best. So, and don't be afraid of your dream, but just look for the kernel of truth and inspiration that you're receiving as a result of the dream. And even if you wake up, it was a nightmare, find the essential truths in that are helpful. Okay, maybe you died, or maybe there was a war or a famine or something terrible, and you could say, okay, today I appreciate that I have another shot at life. You never know when you're going to die. Every moment counts. Something like that inspires you, rather than the world is coming to an end. It's not going to inspire you. I don't think so. Something that'll allow you to really create value in the day ahead and live a regret-free life. So this is the Love Dinosaur. Till the next video, see you in my dreams. Woo-hoo.